Oh, now I'm live. Okay. One minute. Okay, that's how many minutes. Okay. How is this? You get rid of this? Can't get rid of any of this stuff. Okay, that's how many minutes we've been on. Okay. Now I'm getting rid of it. One viewer. Okay. Chat ready. Okay. Oh, okay, so that's how many minutes we've been in. Okay, we're set to live chat. Okay. LCT train 7026. Hello, welcome. Okay. Hey, what you cooking? You'll have to forgive me. I'm still trying to figure out this live stream system. I finally figured out there. Sounds good. I love grilled onions on my burgers with a slice of cheese to boot. Cheeseburger. I'm finally figuring out it says live means how 4 minutes and 52 seconds. How long I've been on. I was wondering how they figured that out. This is a learning experience, I'll tell you. Okay, this is a learning process. I do say so myself. Oh, darn. No, I can't spell. Well, we got one so far. I tried live stream earlier and it couldn't get anybody in. It said I had 24. I couldn't get anybody else in. Don't know what's going on here. Maybe it'll come over to this live stream. They say to try something new. So I'm trying something new. I'm going batty doing it. Enjoy your burgers. Where are you from? Well, let's hope somebody else joins in here. I got messed up with the other live chat was going, but I got messed up. Said everybody was still waiting. Oh, that's cool. I've been watching a channel of a fellow down in Arkansas getting the old 49 Ford flathead trucks and old vehicles running. It's amazing what he gets running condition some of them engines are in, but he seems to get them all running. My best friend is from Texas. I forget the town he said he was from. One of the big ones in Texas. I'm not sure which one. I forget now. Oh, shoot. Right now I'm HO scale, and I might try an N scale a little bit, learn to fix them. My father was at N scale before he died, but we never got too far with it. He passed away too quick. And I'm also DC. I've seen DCC, and I'm sticking with the DC. And to be honest with you, having one DCC engine is maybe a novelty, is okay, but after a while, they just sound like noise to me. I prefer the DC. It's a lot simpler and easier, and call me old-fashioned. I've heard of Wichita Falls. Wasn't that where the lineman was still on the line? That was a good song, actually. Where is everybody? I get you there. As I said, one of them on their own is like it's a bit of a novelty, but you get 4 or 5 of them all lashed up together, and it just to me sounds like a noise. It doesn't really sound like a locomotive, and it just plus there's just too much with the DCC that can go wrong, and boards and decoders, and plus the fact it's darn expensive. It's hard enough to afford a HO scale train as it is, let alone paying another $150 for the darn thing with a decoder in the darn thing. Then you got to go out and buy all the controllers and stuff to run them, and it gets a bit too expensive nowadays. Stuff's getting too pricey as it is, especially used stuff lately. People are just going crazy on eBay, especially in the last year. Even parts are going nuts to get anything. And scale is okay. Problem is getting all those blasted little wheels on the track when you older eyesight, if you know what I mean. Hoping some of the others from the other live stream would pop over to this one. I had to start a new one. YouTube kind of put me out of the other one I was in. Hopefully they'll pop over here. I hope, I hope, I hope. So how big is your layout? So what do you think of the Bachman Easy Track? I've heard stories about it. Doesn't always line up and is not the greatest. How's your experience with it? I'm hoping to get moved down to LA to my, you see the 2 pictures on my train station in the background is my fiance and soon to be stepdaughter. She's quite a bit older than that now. She's 14 years old now, the stepdaughter. But I'm hoping to get moved down to them. And she's in southern LA. They've been wanting me to come down there. Then I can, she's interested in my trains too and helping me. She's supporting the channel and everything. So I'm hoping to get down to them. Then we can set up a layout together down there. Then right now I'm putting all the body mounting, all the couplers, putting the Acumake knuckler couplers on, and trying my best to change over to metal wheel sets. But even doing that, trying to buy the couplers and the wheel sets that when you're on a small disability pension, they keep you quite broke because them wheel sets are not too cheap up here in Canada. And $76 for it does about half a dozen cars. Another reason I want to get the Sam hell out of Canada and down to the States. I've had enough of the snow. Well, cold and snow up here right now in North York, Ontario, which is a part of Toronto. They call it the Greater Toronto Area. We're actually northwest of Toronto by a few miles. Or we're all in they amalgamated, so we're all in the same area. We're controlled by Toronto, City of Toronto, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I think we might have been better off as on our own, but you know how that works. No, I don't have any DCC right now. I had one, if you see my channel, I had one engine I bought that was DCC, supposed to be DCC ready, but it was shorted out. So I wound up removing all the board and all that stuff, DCC stuff out of it. And I wired it straight back to DC and put another light bulb in and went straight back to the original DC system and got rid of all the other stuff. There was some short on the board that it wouldn't pass current from the track to the motor. So it was just too much. That's nice to know about Easy Track switches. I myself use Atlas. I was Atlas brass for the longest time. Now I'm starting out, the new layout's going to be all Atlas nickel silver. And if you see in the background my big Varney Northern, it's rigid frame, it takes 24-inch curves. So I have a small 4x8 test layout. I sit down on the bed. It's on a foam board. I sit down on the bed. I can use to test out engines thing. But right at the moment, I need some couple of pieces of cork road bed, which I'm having a heck of a time getting up here in Canada. All the train shops are out of cork, and I can't seem to get any. So I'm just stuck for two lengths of cork road bed. But I need to get it going, and I got a bunch of equipment and stuff I need to put on it and run around and break in and test out and do a little bit of running some trains for the channel. Just last year was a nasty year for me. And lots of problems and health and pensions, and nothing went our way last year. Right now I'm using Rapido wheel sets. They're pretty good, but I do have one bad wheel set I found out. But I had it on they're 36-inch. I had them on my PGW pasture train. And I had sparks and stuff coming up under one of my pasture cars. And I found out, I guess one wheel set when they made it, the insulation or something didn't get all in it or didn't get put in it or something. And it's causing a dead short. So that's a little bit of a ouchie, but out of all the ones I've used, boxes that I've used, I've only had one bad wheel set, so nobody's perfect, as they say. I could probably take it back to Rapido, and so I know the girls. I've been into their shop here in Ontario. They're in Markham, about an hour and a half away from me by train and subway and bus. But I've been to their office in Markham, and they're actually nice folk, and I got to know the two girls in there pretty well. They're nice ladies, and I bought a lot of stuff off them from their shop. And George's Trains is right across the street from them in Markham. So I can visit Rapido and George's Trains all at the same time. Makes for a nice day. They have nice wheels. And the nice thing about the Rapido wheel sets is they fit so far they fitted all the cars I've used, Tyco, Bachmann, Lifelike, Athearn, whatever the things are fitted in there. I've never had to adjust any of the truck frames or anything. They just pop right in. So they seem to be a good universal wheel set. It's just the darn price of them. And I'm using Accumate knuckle cuppers. I know they're plastic, but I've had them for years and I haven't had any problems with them yet. I actually ran one of my Atlas SD, no, it was a C424 Century into the end of the plywood I had, blocking the end of my layout off, so the equipment didn't go into the ground. And while running it, I forgot that I had it broken in, and it coasted. It hit the end of the track plywood pretty hard with a good thunk, and it never hurt the coupler, so I'm staying with them. That's something I've never had with Rapido wheel sets. Like I say, I popped them in everything from Bachmann to Lionel to Lifelike to Tyco. I've had a lot of Tyco equipment with 1776 cars and everything. Any of my passenger cars thing, and Athearn and any of the other ones, I've never had a problem with them being tight yet. I do need to get one of those tools to ream the trucks out, but so far I haven't had any trouble. Kadee are expensive, I hear. What do you think of Walter's wheel sets? And as for the move, yes, so do I. It's a double when you got a hot young lady and you can't get to her. But we chat quite a bit on the back and forth on the channel on our cell phones. But come on, where'd the rest of my gang go from the other live stream? No understand what's happening here. Had 24 waiting. Well, Kadee is good products. That their couplers, if they are good products, but man, their couplers and stuff. That's one thing I buy the Accumates for. They're cheaper than Kadee's, and they'll hook up to Kadee. They're compatible, and I can get 60 of them for the price of 5 or 10 Kadee's. They're expensive Kadee's. They're nice, but everything on Kadee's expensive. You pay for the You're paying for the name. But some of the stuff you got to have because Kadee has the couplers that have got the different shank styles for the if you need a coupler with a up higher on the shank, the different shank types. So I do have some Kadees. So I usually cut the rod off the bottom, air hose piece off the bottom. And I have hand-on couplers, and I like hand-on coupling anyway, rather than the electronic stuff. Less wiring. The only problem with Kadee is you lose that miserable little spring on it, and sometimes that can be a pain to put back in. Not as bad as putting the springs in those blasted fully sprung trucks, though. That is giving me fits once in a while. What I'm doing right now is basically body mounting all the couplers and weighting down all the cars and getting them going that way. Then I figure when the money comes in, then I'll slowly, the wheel sets can be changed easy. They're pop them in pretty quick. Then I can slowly get them put over to metal wheels as I get the money. I hear you on the nightmare on the trucks. It's not so bad once you get one spring in the truck to hold the darn thing on. Then getting the second one is not so bad. It's getting that first little sucker in there that gets me up the yin yang once in a while. Accumate couplers are pretty good. They drop right into Astern and any of those. They are a two-part coupler, but like I say, I rammed that Elco C424 Atlas one into the end of that board pretty hard with a pretty good kathunk, and it didn't hurt the coupler, didn't break it. It's still on the engine. It's in storage right at the moment, but it never hurt it. And it really hit hard. I forgot the darn thing was broken in, and the Atlas flywheels, they coast a bit. Good thing the board was there. It would have been crashed on the floor. I have that to be thankful for. I do like Atlas engines. Bachmann has given me a bit of I'm not too fond of. I have a Bachmann I have two actually Bachmann GS4s. One's in Surrey in storage. I put it on a Bowser chassis, and the one I got down here, I'm pretty sure the body shell is going to wind up on a Bowser or some other kind of a chassis, because those Bowser split chassis are ouchy. Those wheel sets break, and I had the problem of the stud broke off the wheel, so I got to drill it out and put another see if I put another axle through it to stick it back in. Just haven't got around to it yet. It's a kind of a shame because Bachmann, their bodies and stuff are nice bodies on their steam engines. Their diesels are not so wonderful. I don't care for them too much, but their Bachmann steam engines have got nice bodies on them, nice detail. It's a shame they made such a lousy, good for nothing drivetrain on them. That was. I've been looking at one of my other YouTube guys. If you see SMT Mainline, he bought the Lionel Polar Express, and for the price of it, be $700 time we get one to Canada. He bought his used, and for the look at the body, it's kind of cheap. But the one thing about Lionel is they have a good drivetrain. So I'm wondering if you couldn't take a Bachmann 284 Berkshire and take the body and put it on the Lionel chassis. You'd have a good locomotive. Neither is the new Bachmann. That's a silly way they mounted the trucks in their new ones. Just that one little screw on top, that least little thing, and the truck's broken off. And that's a real bear to try and repair. Astern is good, but the problem with Astern, since they sold out, is the new owners are not keeping the parts up like Irv used to do, and used to be able to buy any part you wanted for their box cars, anything. You can't do that anymore. What parts they do have are they won't ship to Canada. So I'm kind of, if I need Astern parts, I gotta send the money to my girlfriend. She's gotta buy them, then send them to me, which is a lot of messing around. And it gets expensive too with the exchange. So that kind of shuts me down a little bit. I've had the best luck with Atlas myself. I've had no trouble with any of the Atlas. They're nice engines, and they pull nice and run nice. And the old Model Power, Roco Model Power were good engines too. And the gears, everything are the same as the Atlas, I found out. Same wheel trucks too. Just gear train box is a little different, and but the gears and the wheel sets are all the same between Atlas and Model Power Roku. So, okay, we have a new guy in here. Who's he? Speak up, whoever you are. Oh, it's the same way for Aston down the States, huh? I know I wanted to order some parts off them, but I got turned down that they will not ship to Canada. Some honking about if we buy their little screws, they might be made into a bomb or something at the border. I don't know. Either way, they wouldn't ship to me in Canada anyway, which kind of sucks. Do Atherton still have the body shell wider than normal, or have they gone to the new system of proper scale width hood now? That was the one thing Atlas kicked their behind in '75 when they came out with their locomotives with the scale width hood and their running system, running gear, which are 10 times better, pulled more, and handled nicer, and they had the scale width hood, which really kicked Atherton to the butt good. The only thing they messed up on was that stupid fuel tank blob they Roku made for a fuel tank on Atlas, which eventually I'm going to grind down and ordered new plastic fuel tanks off of Atlas and replace them all with the plastic cover up of the newer Atlas locomotives. Then the older ones will be nice locomotives again. They have a lot of the old Atlas engines. Oh, the Genesis models are the scale width to it. Okay, that's nice to know. Thank you. I'm used to the older blue box ones. I can't afford up here in Canada. We can't afford Genesis models. You can't afford too much at all up here in Canada when it comes to model railway stuff. God, some of them G scale box cars are $900 a piece. Ouch. Mind you, like we figured it out, getting a Lionel Polar Express train set into Canada from the States would cost us $700 Canadian with shipping and duty and everything. Mind you, I was looking at one train set they had for sale. It was a Rapido, was $1,799 US. Good gracious me. Have you got any of the new Atherton steam engines? I got parts of their old 462 and also parts of their uh, other one, little yard one thing there. But I need, again, the axles are broken on it. they got the nylon spacers in the axles, and they're cracked and broken on it. So I need another set of wheels for that little unit, 442 they had, or 042 or something they had out in the older days. I forget the name of the darn thing. The body parts are all there, just the wheels are, and the drive gear is cracked and broken. And the two split too far to try to push back together again. How about Intermountain? You ever have any Intermountain cars or locomotives? I heard they're not too bad. Rapido is pretty much the best of the trains nowadays, but boy, you pay for it. But they are nice trains. That's like my Barney Northern. It's got to have 24-inch curves for it, or I got to pull a bunch of screws off and modify the running gear to get it around 22-inch, and I'd rather not do that. So when I make the new layout, I'll make 24 and bigger curves for it. I got it running. I put it together. It was a brand new kit. It's just been put together. It runs everything. I'm just customizing it, I'm going to put the electrical feed water heater and all the details on it. So I'm working on it as I get the money to get the detail parts. I got the electrical feed water heater. I've got the new bell on it. I've got the new saturated steam whistle on it. But I need pump and stuff for the electrical feed water heater and some of the other boiler detail parts and pieces. And as I get them, I put them on it. One of these days I've been looking at it and I need to get it down off the workbench thing there, and I need to fix a bit of a valve gear on it. I got the parts now, and maybe show it running back and forth on the test track. Give everybody a show of how it runs. They are nice running engines, those Barneys. That was a lot of problem, that zinc rot. Bachman had it, River Rossi had it, some of the old Athearn had it, and Varney and some of the old, well, Penline didn't. Penline was all, they were all lead boilers. But some of the old Roundhouse and some of them had lead zinc rot pretty bad. So that was a problem with that zinc rot in the old days. And Varney boxcars, they're metal stamped aluminum sides and ends and roofs, but shell body frames were zinc thing, and they got a lot of zinc rot. So I finally figured out I can use lifelike body underframes to put in that Varney cars to get them going again. Is Hobbytown still making drives? Don't know. I haven't heard about them for a long time. Would they fit the Athearn running gear? I had 3 brand new Globe F7 ABB sets that I put the A unit on the Athearn Super Drive, I got it fitted to there, but I need trucks to put the frame under the B units. I don't. My Athearn trucks are all sitting in Surrey, BC, so that don't do me any good down here in Ontario. So, but B unit, the A unit runs. I'm just missing a number board for it and an air horn, but it's running. I got the couplers and everything on it. That so I got one Globe unit running. They were the original Athearn F unit shells when Herb bought out Globe models. They're still pretty nice shells. I'm more into Elco locomotives myself. I have a few EMD. I don't have any GE or anything yet. Well, yeah, I do have one GE Athearn. Let me show you. This one is an early Athearn GE E33 locomotive. It's built on a Athearn GP9 chassis, so it doesn't have the supposed to be three-wheel trucks. This one's also a band drive locomotive, but this one originally they never came with handrails. I had to make my own handrails for it on the front sides, and on the rear. I had to build my own, and I got to get some more stiffer handrail wire to make the handrails down both sides and whatever. But this one was made originally in 1958 for Lionel. They Athearn made them for 58, 59, and 60. They made these for specifically for Lionel trains. So it's actually shorter than it should be. It's supposed to be three-wheel trucks, but it runs nice. I got new bands on it. It runs nice and everything. So it's this is the only GE locomotive I have. Most of mine are either Elco or the main lot, or a few EMDs or Atlas variety. So that one I just picked up this year. I got it for $25. Ouch! Wow, that's a lot of money. That's US. So we're looking at $160 here in Canada. Be yellow. I'm using yellow like Union Pacific yellow with CP red, action red. So be a red yellow body with a red top and probably red running boards and handrails. I'm still working on working out. I know I'm going to be yellow and red for the paint scheme. I'm just working out how it's going to be for the difference between the passenger and the freight engines. All the passenger engines are going to get all be yellow and red, but I got to design a scheme for it. They're going to have silver trucks on them. The freight engines will have black trucks. Any of the maintenance of way work cars will get yellow, like the rotary snow plows, or any of the work cars, cranes like that will get yellow trucks. But they'll be all red, not they won't have. They'll just be yellow handrail stuff. But the freight engines and the passenger engines will be yellow and red. Yeah, that's the fun of living in Canada. Everything's more steep, including our food. Well, it's $65 for a roast in the grocery stores. That'll feed maybe 3 people. And don't ask about a price of a piece of salmon or the whole salmon. You know, that's funny because Globe was shells where the Athearn shells are thing. That's what the Athearn used, was the globe shells to make the Athearn thing there. So it's funny how you got to change them around to fit the Athearn shells. You think that if they fit the globe, they should just drop right into the Athearn. Yeah, Elco's got some. They got a bad rap actually, but what bugged them up was having to use somebody else's drive things, traction motors is what really messed them up. If they would have built their own traction motor, they probably would have been better off. But when you rely on your competition for something, that you don't get too far, because the competition will stick a knife in you like they did Atlas, or I mean Elco. That's what happened to Tyco. Was they sent their crew over to another place to build a plant to make Tyco locomotives. Instead of doing that, they took the money and set up a plant, called it Pemco, and went into competition with Tyco. Subsequently, Tyco had to sue them, but in the end, Tyco wound up going out of business. Yeah, so was mine. I just drilled it in a small drill, drilled it out, then got the small Zunas files and filed it out, matched the opening, and it clipped right on. The only problem I had was the back where the couplers went through the back of the shell there. I had a little bit of a fun time getting that to work, but I managed it. But that's pretty easy if you got a small drill. Just drill some series of holes in that slot, then climb it out a little bit with a number 11 blade. Then well, that was one of the problems. It was basically they had to use their competition traction motors. Is what really when GE decided to build their own locomotives, they kind of put Elco on the parts where they couldn't afford GE traction motors anymore, and that between that and their one engine, their last engine they had was a good engine, Elco, but they're having to rely on GE for the traction motors is what pretty much did them in, because GE wouldn't sell them the traction motors anymore. That's how EMD got around it. They made their own traction motors and everything, so everything was in house. Everything was EMD. They didn't have to worry about Westinghouse or GE because they made all their own parts. Where Elco was relying on GE thing, and that kind of bit them in the behind. So never trust your competition, or never trust your partner. You may think you have a good relationship with them, but you might find out that all the while they're scheming against you. It's funny, it says there's two here, but nobody else is joining in. Yeah, I drilled out the headlight on my, let me see if I can find that globe. I think it's right here. Ooh, darn thing's heavy. That Athearn Super Drive is heavy. Here's my globe shell. I'm missing this one, whoops daisy. I'm missing this one number board and the head horn, but the horn's just a standard Aston horn, so that's nothing to worry about. But number board is it's a special number board. That's what's hurting me. But yeah, I drilled out. You can see I got a plastic lens in it. I drilled my headlight out, put a lens in it out of another F7 of some kind. I'm not sure which. And you can see where I filed the clip out and put it on there. But that's my. This is brand new. Oh, it's getting dusty sitting on the bench. But this is all brand new working. So I got there's the Accumate couplers on the back of it and on the front. And you can see where I had to go through the back there, through the bottom part here, coupler part here, to slide the coupler in. But I did manage it. So it's all screwed on everything. But other than that, it runs perfect. And it's extremely heavy. So it should pull like crazy. But this one, if I can get it to B units powered, I'll just keep this set to run on its own. I don't have to MU it with my Atlas or my other Roku units. So what to think? Because Athearn and Atlas don't MU very good. The Atlas will wind up pushing this thing along. Mind you, this thing's pretty heavy, but the Atlas do wind up pushing all the other makes along, except for Roku model power, which are pretty much equal in running power. So that's my globe unit. Actually, I got that in eBay said it was 3 brand new shells. That was kind of a good good purchase. That one it came with a bunch of other. I bought a box of part stuff off of eBay that they were in. That was kind of a nice go round. Well, if you're missing both of them, what you could do if you got an old Bachmann F unit, some of them had number boards that come off and with the lens in them or lighted number boards. You could, you got an old Bachmann shell, pop the number boards off it and put them on. And you just have to drill a little hole to put the lens in. But you could put number boards off of Bachmann on it if you're missing both. I could have done that, but I never thought of it when I put the kit together. And then that now I've kind of got that glued on. It's a little bit, yeah. I'm going to have to wait and find the original one. Otherwise, I could have put I got lots of Bachmann number boards off some scrapped Bachmanns. You get a lot of Bachmanns nowadays because they were train set engines. You get a lot of scrap Bachmann engines, especially with the cracked gears. But I always pop the number boards off because they do have nice number boards. Yours got dual headlights. Mine, factory single. Yours must be a later globe. Well, you still got a pretty good pair with 2. It's still pretty good. Yeah, it's one thing about Atlas. Once they get run in with their dual flywheels, you got to learn to shut the power off a little bit sooner than you want to stop. Otherwise, you're going to crash because they do coast pretty good. Trust me on that one. They are nice running locomotives, but you just got to plan your stop. So, but good thing that board was there. I'd have had a brand new Atlas on the floor. And actually, Atlas, I've used a lot of their, I'm putting a lot of their motors in other stuff. I'm kit bashing. I'm using a lot of Atlas. And I'm also, I got to get it finished off. I'm putting an Atlas FP7 drivetrain and chassis under Lifelike F40PH. That was done by Model Railroader magazine. That's where I got the idea for that. So I got it pretty much done. I just got to take the paint off the Lifelike locomotive and detail it up to suit my standards, then paint it up for my passenger colors. But I got the chassis and frame under it. And I also just put a this is a Tyco ST24 shell and handrails sitting on an Atlas ST24 mainframe. I took the Atlas shell off and dropped the Tyco on it. It wasn't too much. It had a little bit to do with the front steps inside to make the truck swivel. But other than that, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just getting around to it, is fill these slots in on the side where the old mounting system used to be on the Tyco. I got the plastic to do it. I just got to get around to doing it one of these days. Then of course, I filled in the front and body mounted the Accumate couplers on it. So this runs perfect. It runs nice. The only thing, I don't have the one front. Usually have two weights in the Atlases, and I don't have the one front weight in it yet because of the Tyco, the way they made their front light lenses and window glazing. Atlas weight just doesn't quite fit around it. I'd have to adapt, cut into the Tyco weight to make Atlas weight, to make it fit. The rear weight went in perfect, so I got the rear one. I just don't have the second one in the front. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put it in yet or just leave it as is without the front weight. It's kind of heavy enough and pulling enough power. So I made this one that's got the steam generator stuff on it for pulling. I can use it with the passenger train. And I also have another one of these Tyco. This was coming around the mountain. This one. I also have another Tyco shell on order coming to me. It's in eBay shipping, I guess, right now station. That I'm going to cut the cab down and make it a low nose ST24 using a Tyco GP20 nose. But I got to find article on that in the Model Railroader magazine so I can see how the guy did it. So I just like that. I like the Atlas Tyco ST24. That ST24 and E-Unit were the two best shells Tyco ever made. They were lovely shells, those two, the ST24 and their E-Unit. Yes, I do use wheel weights, what I got for weighting down all my Tyco box cars and everything. I use them quite a bit. Yeah, I get that, sends the messages. You want to see my crazy cell phone? Sends me up the wall. As for wheel weights, I buy these. They're come in a box. I just found a box of them for the 36 bucks on Amazon, but they do quite a few cars. These are quarter ounce, so I use these quite a bit in weighting down all the cars and equipment. I know I could, if I feel like it, it wouldn't take that much modification. I could cut the Atlas weight down if I get around to it one day. I might, but that thing that they run so nice and heavy enough, and hooked up with another unit that you don't really need it. But the low nose ones don't have it anyway. So, but Yeah, if I come across an Atlas Train Master, if I can get one up here cheap enough in Canada, or when I get down to the States, I'll have a bit more money and everything will be a bit cheaper. And that'll be the nice thing too for the railway is I'll be able to get the parts and stuff I need. Because I need some Varney parts and parts for a few things. And boy, trying to, you can get it sometimes a good price on eBay, but that darn shipping and exchange and everything is what really kills you. I don't know what the heck. Some of them want $250 to ship stuff on eBay. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Actually, the old Atherns with their metal frames were actually pretty good, to be honest with you. The only thing about the old ones is they used to spark like crazy with their centered wheels, but that was an Athearn for you. But that Globe model, it's got that one with what they call the super hi-fi one, super weighted one. All it is, it's a regular Athearn, but just has a weight that fits over the motor. So basically, it's just a standard Athearn chassis locomotive with another weight that fitted in over the motor. Is all it is. It's you could add that weight to any of the older ones or anything. They're pretty much all the same. At least on the blue boxes anyway. I don't know about the new ones. I haven't had too much dealings with the new Atlas or new Athearn since I moved out of Savinaw. I've been mostly Atlas, and I have a lot of the old Tyco Spirit of 76s and all those. I've been collecting those locomotives quite a bit. Yeah, tell me about it. $250 shipping, that's American. Then you're looking at another 30%. Every $100 is $30 on top of it. So you got $60 right there. Then another 15. So there's $75 just on the shipping for the exchange. Then you still got to pay for the darn model. So you get, as you understand, it gets a little bit ouchy out here. And you're like me on just a small disability pension because of my back and my knee. I can't do my heavy duty work anymore. I used to be a heavy duty truck and coach mechanic, but I had an accident, put my car in a ditch, which buggered up my back. When I was 3 years old, I went down a flight of 8 stairs that smashed my knee and my body up pretty good. And now I'm in the 60s, that everything's caught up on me and kind of forced me into retirement. So trying to live on a $700 disability pension in Canada is getting a little ouch, if you know what I mean. But you survive. But hopefully, I get down to the States, it'll be into a warmer climate and with my girl, and we can go around and do stuff. Like I say, she's into the train stuff with me. She's supporting the channel and everything, and she's interested to get in and seeing all the trains and stuff. And little stepdaughter is kind of interested too a bit. So it'd be a nice little family thing for the three of us to something to do and be together and enjoy each other. And she likes to go around with me and visit my friends and stuff on YouTube and go and ride the old scenic railway trains and stuff like that. So it'd be nice to be able to travel around together and uh, enjoy ourselves a little bit. So, well, I don't know. The working person at the time they pay all the rent, especially in Canada, with a one-bedroom apartment is $1,500 to $2,000 for a one-bedroom. I'm in what they call subsidized housing here in Toronto, but it's 30% of your income. But the ordinary apartments in Canada are anywhere from 1,700 to a low end to $2,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. So that takes your paycheck pretty good. Then the price of food and everything else, and $6 a gallon for gas, and then insurance and Then in Ontario, if you drive a red car, you get a higher insurance because you got a red car. So they ding you 15% more. So it adds up here. So, and even our health care is not all that blasted wonderful. 150,000 people died last year waiting to get into health care. So that's not all that wonderful either. Yeah, super dries. That's the Athearn word for the one. All it is the weight that goes over the motor. But it does add quite a bit of weight to it. So how I wound up with that drive, there's a fella down east of me in Kingston had some. He used to have a layout, and he had a bunch of damaged locomotives and equipment and stuff that I bought off him last fall, and that he had it was in an Athearn shell that had been dropped and smashed up. So I popped the chassis out and put it all back together. The motor popped out for the like they do in Athearn. The motor mounts had popped out, so I put some new motor mounts in it, and then I had to send over to Australia for the motor mounts. I couldn't find anywhere else, so I put the new motor mounts in, put it all back together, then popped the globe drive on it. Yeah, my grandfather would go along with that because my grandfather was on the well, he started out on the Grand Trunk Pacific. My grandfather's family put the line in from Jasper to Prince Rupert, and he was on the old steam engines, the old coal-fired buggers, and come home after shoveling 25 tons of coal on a trip. He was an engineer, but still, when the coal auger messed up or the thing went wrong, you get some bad coal and it froze up, or the stoker wouldn't work. They had to get down both of them out of shovel. And trust me, after he got home with the thing, that he didn't think there was anything romantic about the steam engine. So it was a dirty job, but he had a job that was during the Depression and everything in them days in the 30s. It was a steady job, so he thing, but he retired in 52 just as the diesels come in. But he didn't think there was too much romantic in them old steam engines, especially when you're shoveling that coal, trying to keep that sucker and get it into the station with foaming boilers and everything. That there's people think everything is fun, but until they actually get out and do it, they don't know. Same as being a cowboy. Everybody think being a cowboy is so romantic. Well, I put in 6 months on a ranch, and I didn't find anything romantic at all about being on a ranch. All them blasted herding them cattle and stuff around. And, well, I didn't think it was very romantic, but like you said, when they haven't done it or been with it, people think it's all right and glory. But even today, the railroading is like I've got guys I've talked to said that there's a lot on your plate running them locomotives and stuff, and it's least little thing you're. Yeah, that's the hell of it. Everybody thinks, and that I know for a fact my father was saying when that the three of them, there was my father and two older brothers, and Cecil was the oldest. He was 8 years older than my father. They were down in Bigger, Saskatchewan, and my old grandfather had them up in the cab of the engine, and that on the old 2729, and told Cecil to okay, put her into gear, pull her thing there. Cecil grabbed the Johnston bar. He couldn't even budge the darn thing. Get back there. My grandfather just grabbed the Johnston bar and pulled it back with one arm, like. So yeah, those were the days. Talk about the dirty 30s. But it seems today, though, it's still that everybody thinks being a mechanic is a easy job until you get in there doing it. Especially at 2 o'clock on a December morning when a truck rolls into your garage. with all the road spray and salt and everything dripping off it. And you're crawling around under it trying to find a shorted wire. With all that road stuff running down in your eyes, in your mouth, in your nose, in your ears, all over you. Trust me, that's not fun. But that's the job. You mechanic, you do what you have to do. I never did find the blasted short. I wound up jumping the wire off another section and got the lights working on the B unit. There's no way you're going to find it with about 5 pounds or 5 tons of snow and slush and salt and everything else stuck under the B train. That was a night, I'll tell you. But we got her rolling, got her to its destination anyway. Yeah, a friend of one of my other YouTube friends just did a video on him and his wife went on to Durango and Silverton, and he showed the picture of going up that run. It's a beautiful run there, actually. And the bugger, he got to ride the Cabot engine back down. Yeah, I found out another place on eBay now. You can get gas and motor mounts. You don't have to send over to Australia anymore. And even that got a bit of shipping. For a set of motor mounts, I think it cost me $36 or something in the end. Time I got them to Canada. See, Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Welcome. Right here. What going on now? We're just BSing with LCTS trains about our trains. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, that's why I want to get down to LA, get away from this thing, white stuff that's on the ground and cold. Boy, it's 14 below here in Toronto, Ontario, and we got snow. It's actually snowing tonight. Whatever. I've shoveled enough of it with my back and my knee. I can't shovel no more. So lucky thing, the apartment building complex has a little tractor. The maintenance man plows the sidewalk stuff with, so we don't have to shovel it anymore. So Canadian Locomotive Logistics. Where are you from? Canada. Well, that's like in down here in Ontario. It can snow right up until June, they say some days. And trust me, the way it's on this year, it probably will. But even in BC, where I was on the Coquihalla in that area, they had snow on the Coquihalla Highway in August. So. No, that's kind of like Sparky 107 107. He has that. You can go in and run one of his locomotives on his layout. I was teasing him because he's got a Hooters on his layout. So I said, well, if I drive the train, can I stop at the Hooters? London, Ontario. Okay, you're west of me then. I'm in North York, Ontario. When you see the snow they got in Michigan, wow. And the old ELS is plowing its way through it. They had to drop the train and go down the line and with the engine light to break through all the crossings and everything and open the line up before they go back and get the train. So that was something to see. What scale you in Canadian Locomotive Logistics? I'm HO. LTC Trains is HO. Okay, so there's 2 of you, and it says 3 on the waiting in the waiting room. I don't know who the third person is. He has no he or she hasn't signed in yet. But Welcome. So what LTC trains? What time is it down your neck of the woods? I'm 11:11 p.m. up here. I'll probably go to 12 o'clock my time on the chat here. See who else joins in the group here. Oh, so you're an hour behind me then. I'm an hour ahead of you. And in Newfoundland, they're an hour and a half ahead of us. They always laugh down there that if the rest of us get bombed and blowing up, they got half an hour more so they can have some nookie while the rest of us are getting blown up. Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you there. The Sparky said it was somebody else set that up. He's a pretty good egg. I understand you got another layout you have your system on as well. One day I'll have to try that when I get in the mood to feel like trying to figure this crazy computer system out more. It took me a while to figure out how this crazy live stream worked. My first one, I didn't get anybody on. This one turning out a bit better. No, he's got a neat layout, Sparky. He's got a neat system. So, just he's all DCC, and I'm mostly DC. Well, like they say, we got half an hour more. We're in Newfoundland. Nice to know they're laughing while we're getting blown up. But hey, whatever rocks your boat, I suppose. But be prepared for one thing. If you go down there, be prepared for blasted cold, because they get cold off that North Atlantic. And when you think it's cold where you are, you want to be in Newfoundland when that cold wind comes off that North Atlantic. Okay, you're a DCC guy. Okay. Yeah, HO seems to be the pretty much the scale now. There's a few that are in N scale. So, what do you guys think about Z scale? For me, I don't know if I'd be able to get the blasted wheels on the track. Bad enough getting the HO scale wheels on the track some days with the older eyesight, if you know what I mean. And that's the one reason I kind of shied away from N scale. Mind you, there is a couple of N scale locomotives I'm looking at the hobby shop that are needing repairs. And I've been thinking about, well, if you're going to have a YouTube channel doing locomotive repairs and stuff, maybe I should buy it just for the hell of it to learn on N scale how to fix the darn thing. And it's a nice locomotive. It's in perfect shape, body wise, everything. It's just something doesn't run on it. So I figure for $20, might just spend the $20 just something to learn on, something for the heck of it. As I said, my father was just getting into N scale before he passed away with cancer. So, and I lost all that stuff in moving. And broke into my father's vintage bus and stole 90% of my old railway equipment I had when I was in Savannah. Most of what I got now and in Surrey is all new from when I moved to Surrey and moved down here to Toronto. Ouch! That would not be good for you at Z scale or N scale then. Okay, that'll be nice to get it on more layouts. I hear it from Sparky said it's kind of an expensive process though. But one nice thing about N scale is, man, can you sure make a layout with it? But detailing it's not quite the same as with HO. An O gauge is nice, but it's expensive, and I find it's really hard to get scale O gauge stuff quite a bit. It's mostly all Lionel, and to me that Lionel track with the 3 rails just uh, don't look realistic somehow to me. Just doesn't do it for me. So, mind you, it's what you're used to, I guess. Lionel's still going, but they're getting like everybody else. They're starting to get their uh, uh, going on their name and putting the price up. Same as Bachman. They're putting the price of their products up way too much for what they are. Well, thank you for subscribing, Canadian Locomotive Statistics. I appreciate that. My subscribers, I got to get up to 100, so the algorithm will know who I am, YouTube says. So I'm working on it. I've doubled it from this year. Last year I doubled subscribers. So hopefully this year I can get her up over 100 and go on from there. I got a bunch of rail fanning to do, but it just got too cold and too much snow, and I can't show what I want to show with snow covering everything. So, gonna have to wait for the weather to break a little bit to get more out and do some more rail fanning. Yeah, that's the trouble with O gauge is you need a banquet hall to run it in. So, and right now I'm just in a little bachelor apartment, so I just got the piece of 4x8 foam that I put the track down on, that I can pick it up and lay it down on the bed and hook it up and run it that way. Then pick it up and put it up on its side when I'm not using it, because I don't have much room in here, and I got a lot of the train boxes are taking up my space. So, but it keeps me out of trouble. Keeps me broke, but out of trouble. Actually, I don't. I haven't seen too many places that you can get full regular O scale stuff. So you ever have MTH equipment? I had that one train set I bought that was supposed to be DCC ready, but the kid I got it from, I don't think he was that how she put it all there, and I think he shorted out the DCC part on it. But the body and stuff wasn't that bad. I didn't get a chance to try to track or anything out because pieces were missing. But outside of the coupers, I didn't like their coupers they had on them, but their cars were all metal wheel sets and stuff are pretty nice. And I'd say the locomotive was it was comparable to Athearn, I guess. It wasn't as maybe good as Rapido or Atlas or some of those, but I didn't find it to be too bad a locomotive. As I said, I just hooked it right back up to straight DC and got rid of all that DCC stuff on it. So I am looking. I'm going to have to order a spare lockout plug for a DCC locomotive in case I get one that I can take the decoder out and thing. But then again, you get some with 8 pins, some with 21 pins, some with this. limit to how much you can afford to buy nowadays. Hopefully, I get stateside. I can. My girlfriend's trying to get me into DCC, but I thought that one I'd maybe put a decoder in it for her. She could have be her locomotive, but there was just something shorted out. I just wound up back to the regular. Pemco you'll find are just 5% change of Tyco. They were started by that. That's what how they started that with the money that Tyco gave them to go overseas to set up another manufacturing plant for Tyco. They embezzled and kept for themselves and started up Pemco and thing. And they basically, you see, their flat cars are just Tyco flat cars. They took the Tyco name off them and produced them, and everything was just like a 5% change from Tyco. And they had tender drive locomotives too, which is why their Vanderbilt tenders got that ugly square boxy front on it, not realistic, because they put the tender drive in it to match pretty close the same as what Tyco had in their tender drive. So that Tyco sued them, and they got some of their money back, but the cost of the lawsuit and the loss of the money is what done Tyco in. So if it hadn't been for that, Tyco might have still be going because they weren't that bad of a manufacturer actually, and for their year and their age, when you look at their locomotives compared to say Bachmann or Lifelike or even Ather and stuff like that, they weren't that bad at looking locomotives and everything. And their MU2 was a good motor. Their Power Torque kind of it got a bad rap because people in them days were running them on carpets, and the Power Torque motors just didn't like carpet fibers, and that would plug up the motor and kill it. Then everybody cursed and swore at Tyco because their motors didn't last. When it was more them running them on the carpets, which they weren't made for. So it was kind of, as we say in the mechanics, owner abuse. So, because I got Tyco Power Torques and they're easy to fix. They're pretty easy to fix. You keep them looked after and cleaned out and oiled. I have no trouble with them. They seem to be okay. I've been actually dual powering all my Tyco locomotives. But just that they kind of got a bad rap for that. And then with Pemco pulling that deal on them, I think it was $50 million or something they lost back in the 70s. And that was quite a bit of money. Then the money for the lawyers for the lawsuit, and they never fully got their money back. They only got like maybe less than half their money back. And that was pretty much the end of Tyco. So, which was kind of a shame because they had some neat stuff out, and all their Lifelike was the old Varney train shells and stuff, whatever. So, but no, Tyco, I got lots of Tyco, their Spirit of 76 cars and their state cars, and a lot of those cars. They're all just as nice cars. You put body mounted couplers on them, weight them down, put the metal wheels and axles on them. They're run just as good as anything that the other ones have. Yeah, they're not as scaled and detailed as the new modern locomotive cars, but the new cars are like $50, $60 as well. But they're still for general run of the mill. But I have no trouble with them. I'm happy with them. Bachmann cars, on the other hand, I've cursed and swore at trying to change trucks and couplers and whatnot. But Tyco's pretty easy to work on now. I've got the knack on. I can put body mount couplers on them easy. So, but Bachmann is they've come a little bit better, but they just kind of priced themselves out of the market. That could be one. That's one thing I got to get is one of those magnetizers. off that Lionel Dodd guy. He's over in England. I sent him an email asking him if he still made them, what he'd want to send them on to Canada, but he hasn't got back to me yet. So I don't know if he's not making them anymore or what happened, but I'll have to send him another email and see if I can find out what it would cost to get one, because that remagnetizer is something I could use. Have you tried cleaning the commutator and stuff on the Tycos? I find take them all apart. I clean mine with 99% rubbing alcohol, and then use a fiberglass pencil on the commutators, clean them all up, and that I seem to be doing pretty good. I haven't had too many that are same week, but they do notice even all of them that the magnets and the Barneys and a Penline, all of them, their magnets get weak after a while. That I need one of those remagnetizers if I can get one. But again, it just got to get the spare coin for it. In the summertime, I go out and collect up all the cans and beer bottles and stuff from the parks. That gets me the money for my model railway equipment. Well, the trouble with Bachmann is they're just kind of doing a slight retool of a few things, then charging you 3 times the price for the stuff. And if they'd bring the prices down, they'd be okay for a starter train set and whatnot, get people into it. But they just, for what you get, it's just not worth it. Yeah, quality control is something too that Bachmann is have trouble with flash and everything. I had one locomotive that the inside gear case was full of flash. I had to cut out and clear off to get the darn thing to run. It was the cracked axles. What split axles is what really even the diesels, the front dummy wheels, their axles cracked too, kind of deal. I had one of the issue with one of them that it seized up and wouldn't run around the track. And I finally found out it was the front axles had cracked. I had to change them out. So, Lifelike people say they're not too bad for their locomotives. They weren't that great of realistic, but a lot of people seem to like them that they were standing. Yeah, that's the thing with Bachmann. Some of them that you get one set that's will run forever. Like if you see SMT Mainline, he's had one of his Bachmann that DD40X has been absolutely wonderful for him since he's had it from a kid. But the next one you get it's cracked axles and everything else. So that's the thing about them. They're get you into the hobby. They're good to get you into the hobby. Then, like you said, go up to the better equipment. That's if they would just lower the price a little bit. They'd be a good starter set because we don't really have much starter sets outside of Walters. But what I've heard about Walters, they seem to be pretty good. I haven't had any Walter engines. I've had, I think I've had a Walters parts for one of their old doodle bugs. But myself, I haven't had any. I got some Walter cars and whatnot, but I haven't had any Walter engines or any of that stuff. I hear their train line's supposed to be a pretty good GP15 supposed to be a pretty good locomotive. Everybody seems to swear by that one. But we don't have very many sets nowadays where the ordinary person can get into the hobby now. It's kind of killing the hobby because we don't have very many train sets that are reasonable priced where the average Joe can afford one nowadays. Like you used to be able back in the 60s and 70s, God, you get a starter set for 30, 40, maybe $50 and get into the set. Now you're looking at $189 for the cheapest one. And that don't give you very much. But hopefully the hobby's still going. It, like you said, it keeps you out of the bars and out of the other places where you shouldn't be. But and it is teaches you all kinds of other stuff, how to build layouts and carpentry and wiring, and brings out the creative side of you. And yeah, I like the old Varneys and Penlines and the old river roundhouse and all them, and that getting them going and stripping them down and getting them all going back to original and getting them all running is what I go for. The other locomotive you see behind me is a brand new Mantua steam locomotive. I just put that one together as a kit. It runs. I just got to I put another tender behind it, and I got to get the power hook up between the tender and the locomotive. The other big one is a Rivarossi 210-2. It runs perfect. I just need the front boiler front for it. And I'm trying to find one on eBay, but ouch. Yeah, that's one thing about everybody says. Life like the darn thing seems to run and run and run no matter what you do to them. They seem to keep running. But what's wrong with expensive Walters engines? I haven't heard too much about their expensive ones. I've heard a lot about their GP 15. Everybody seems to swear by. I do have a couple of Lionel steam engine too. I got the little 060. I had to repower it with a motor out of a Lifeline Canon printer. If all the Canon printers they throw out in the recycling area in my place, I salvage them, take the little DC motors out of them, and I use two motors, one in their Lionel 462 Pacific. I put it in it, got it running, but I'm missing a screw for the side rods, and the little 060, it runs perfect. I got it and put away in storage right at the moment. Oh, yeah, that's the problem with DCC, and if you have a bad motor, it takes your decoder out, and that can get expensive. Rivarossi steam, a little hint. Some of them, like I got two of the Rivarossi cab forwards. They're lovely locomotives, but watch out for zinc pest and weight inside of it. Like inside cab forwards, they have a weight that the motor hooks to, and two drive gear boxes hooked to. And if that, like one of mine, I got it, it was making a noise, but it didn't go anywhere. When I took the body off, I found out that frame was zinc pest in it, and it fell apart in three pieces. I did manage to glue it all back together, and I had to file a bunch of stuff off it and do a lot of filing and cutting and fiddling around. But I did manage to get it, the motor, everything remounted, and got the locomotive going again. But that is one thing about Rivarossi, especially if you got a cab forward or a big boy or the mallet. Just watch out for the zinc pest and that weight part that the motor and drivetrain hooks to, because that can really put you out of service really quick. But they are nice locomotives, though. River Rossi was the best for the old steam locomotives. Their diesels weren't all that shit hot, but their steam engines and their passenger cars were pretty much the best in the market in their day. I don't know what they're like now that Hornby owns them. You don't see them too much. But back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, that to have a River Rossi steam engine, River Rossi passenger cars, they were you were the king then. Ah, you got lucky there. But you're lucky. Most, like you said, their Pacifics, at River Rossi Pacifics, have a metal chassis. It's the cab forwards and the big boys and the mallets, or Malays they call them, is the ones that have the zinc pest and the frame inside of them. It's kind of a weight that goes inside the body. Then the motor and the gearbox is all hooked to it, and that's what gets the zinc pest in them models. They actually call them Malays, not mallet, but tomato, tomato. I have the big boy with from Bowser Big Boy. I also had the big boy Challenger and the big boy Bowser T1 duplex. That's going to be on a video shortly, hooking up the power wires to it and getting it running. I got both power trucks running. I just got to wire the two together, but I got to get a length of chainsaw fuel line so I can couple the two motors together. The coupling I have is too short. Then I can couple the two motors together, then wire them together. Then that'll be that Bowser T1 running. And I also have a Penline T1 that I need the front parts for. I got to get a hold of a fellow in Montana and get the parts for get that one running. I got it running on the rear truck, but I need the rest of the frame and parts for get the front truck for the T1 running. Then I'll have the Penline running too. The big boy is going to take a lot of work to put it together. It's just parts right now. The Challenger's almost put together from Bowser. I just got to one day get around to getting back on it. But I got a lot of I got everything in Varney, but streamlined Hudson and the Yellowstone. I got pretty much all the other Varney steam engines. I got them in brass boiler, bronze boiler, aluminum boiler, plastic boiler. But Varneys, they may not be, with today's standards, may be the most detailed locomotive. But boy, you put them together right, like that thing there. They run like switch watches. That Northern, is a beautiful running steam locomotive. Well, all my life I was always called them mallets, same as Prevost buses. I've always called them Prevost all my life. Turns out that down in Montreal where they're made, which is Montreal, Canada, they call them Prevost. So I don't know. Now I find out mallets actually called Mallet. But then again, what we call Chevrolet, they call Chevrolet. So tomato, tomato. But then Chevrolet was started by Chevrolet and Cadillac were started by Frenchmen. That's why they thing and the older Cadillacs and everything were all made by a Frenchman. So, but they never seem to say the T. They seem to Malay instead of Mallet. But either or. So But then, as they say, I've know some of the words they use down in Texas is a little bit confusing to us Canadians sometimes. So, if you really want to be confused, wait till you meet those goofy newfies. Then uh, you'll be confused. Cause hell, they confuse the hell out of us Canadians. They are Canadian. Yeah, hopefully, I got to go online and see if I can find where there's a place close by me in North York somewhere that services chainsaws, so I can go in and buy a foot of chainsaw gas line, fuel line, so that I can cut a chunk for that T1. Then I can, once I get him going, then if I can get the parts for the from my other friend of mine in uh, Montana, I can get Penline steam engine going, the T1 steam engine going. Then I got some work to do on the tender of that one. Then maybe I can go on the Bowser Challenger and get the Challenger done. I was working on it. I know the tender, everything's pretty much done. I'm just, I haven't worked on it since I left uh, Surrey 6 years ago. And I'm not, I forget now what the heck I need to do with it all. But I know the big boy is going to be a project. I got to solder the body back up and do some, it's got to be completely built. It's just basically a kit right now in 100,000 pieces. So, and I bought them all off of eBay. They were all parts locomotives, and I've had to strip them down and get all the parts and pieces and everything. I think I got all the parts for everything. I just got to assemble it one day. But they're a lot of work. The Bowser's getting them all put together, especially them big boys and Challengers and everything. There's a lot of work to them. So, and I never really working and stuff. I never really had the time. Now I'm retired. I can, like I say, I want to get that T1 going. Then if I can get the other Penline one going, that'll be those two ready for paint. Then I'll work on the Challenger. Once it's running, then I can go maybe put around on the big boy. The two cab forwards, I got them running, and my Mallet, River Rossi Mallet runs. I just have a broken pilot. I got to get a new pilot for it one day for the Mallet. The other two are pretty much in good shape. I've always wanted one. It took a long time to get one of those big boys. That Penline one sounds like it's nice, but they're all one thing you can tell a Penline easy is they're all lead boilers, which is actually kind of nice because you any damage. I had a couple that were had nicks and their boilers were damaged. I was able to very gently solder in the damage, the nick, then filed it down, sanded it down with fine sandpaper. You never even could tell the boiler was damaged. But you have to be really ginger with the soldering iron, though, or you wind up with a blob of lead on your table. But no, but they sure as hell pull those pad lines, all lead. They pull like you wouldn't believe. So did the Varneys. That must be one of those rare ones. I haven't got that one, the streamlined Penline Pacific. I heard you had one, but boy, those are hang on to it because boy, those things are worth a hen's teeth. You get about $1,500 for one if you can find one for those. They were same as the Varney Streamline. Well, they had the Streamlined Hudson, and you also had the same boiler, only it was in a Pacific version. And them things go for a fortune. Yeah, well, it will be if it's a pen line, it will be a lead boiler. I'll guarantee you. I've got just about every one of them, but that one from pen line. Well, as long as you've done a good job of it, you should be okay then. It will pull like crazy, but you'll pull any passenger train you want to put behind it. But my Bowser, not Bowser, my Barney Northern behind me there, it was a brand new kit the guy bought in 1952, and he was actually come from Texas. And I think he passed away or something. He never got it opened up, or it was in its original box right from Barney. So I actually bought it when I was in Surrey. I was working at Greyhound at the time, and I could but couldn't afford it, but I really wanted it. I actually paid $500 US for it. That thing cost me about $650 back in 2015 when I bought the darn thing. But I really wanted it for my thing, and I was working, so I broke down and splurged and bought it. And I finally put it together 2 Christmases ago. So it was never been opened until I think it was 2023. I opened it up, put it together for Christmas Day. That and that Mantua Pacific behind me under the picture of my girlfriend and stepdaughter. So they were my Christmas. I bought it brand new kit too, never been put together. That Pacific was in its original box and everything. The 2102 was come off of eBay out of a parts box. It all fixed up, runs nice. I just need the darn smoke box run for it. So that's the fun part for me is getting them old engines and getting them. Sometimes I've got some that were a blasted mess with uh, wire put all over everywhere. I've stripped them right down to the boilers, the old Varneys and Pen Lines and River Rossies, and well, not River Rossi so much, but the old Roundhouse and all of them, and stripped them all down, cleaned them all up, polished the boilers up, then put them all back to original condition, then get them running and uh, on the track. And I got a Barney Pacific too, all brass boiler Pacific. Northern is all brass, and that Pacific it runs like a Swiss watch. It's a beautiful running locomotive. I also have the Bowser, not Bowser. I got to the many of them. The Barney Berkshire, that's all aluminum boiler with a big steel weight that goes in the boiler bit. That sucker's heavy when you get the weight in it. Then I still got to get a few parts for it. The parts are sitting in Surrey, unfortunately. The locomotives got here, but the darn box of parts didn't get here, unfortunately. When I moved in a hurry, I come down in a hurry to Ontario for a job back in with Greyhound until COVID showed up, and that shut Greyhound down. Then put me out of work. Then I slipped and fell a couple of times while I was on EI, and that finished my back and my knee, and that put me on the sideline. So unfortunately, when I moved, I grabbed a few things, but I didn't really have time to go through my container and grab everything I needed. And subsequently, some stuff got here and the parts for it didn't. So yeah, I'm happy with that Barney Northern. That's what I say. I'm detailing it all up to suit my line. Uh, I got the saturated steam whistle on it. I put the new bell on it, relocated the bell, and I got electrical feed water heater kit. I just don't have the plumbing for it and electrical feed water heater pump I need for it, and then I can finish that off. But I'm also waiting to get some other the valves and stuff like that to kind of super detail it. So it as I get the parts, I put them on it. So yeah, it kind of sucks because I do miss having to driving the old buses around at the MCIs and stuff. I miss having that steering wheel between my hands, even as a mechanic driving them around it. But it's a point where you, well, accident when I was 3 years old has really caught up to me now. I'm 63. That kind of, as my doctor said, it catches up on you when you get older. The uh, osteoarthritis and calcification, everything gets into it, and that doubles the damage kind of deal. So, unfortunately, is now I'm a YouTube model railroader. So, I just kind of YouTube. It's a learning curve, I got to admit, but I'm learning little bit by little bit. Now I finally figured out how to get this live stream to work. So, well, if you get model railroader magazines and them and stuff, you can learn on them. It's you're a young guy yet, you'll still get that. But you can pretty much the model railway books, so you can go online that you can get the information how to detail. But even if you just get them going for now, you can detail them at a later date. It's, as they say, it's an ongoing project. That's why a lot of mine ain't painted right now, because I can still put the details on them, and once they're done, then I'll paint them. The steam engines are pretty much all going to be black with either silver smoke box stuff like that. Anyway, they're pretty silver, easy to paint. It's the diesels that take the twin colors and stuff like that are the ones that are a little bit more for painting. But I kind of got run out of season, and I've been so much other stuff going on this year that I never really had the time to invest in getting the stuff painted. I got the paint and everything, the stuff to do it. I just never had the time this year. I kind of ran out of days and dealing with everything. It's been a lousy year, 2025. So we're all hoping 2026 is a heck of a lot better. That's one thing about model railroading, that you'll learn something, that every day you'll learn something new, and every day you'll progress. Yeah, diesels are fairly easy to work on. They're a lot easier than the valve gear in some of them locomotives, because the newer ones that they're pretty much all the valve gears all assembled on the Varney and the Penline and old Bowsers and everything. You got to assemble all the valve gear and stuff with little rivets and stuff. Well, I got all the little rivet things for tool stuff for making the rivets, doing the rivets anyway. But still, you got to get the rivet into two pieces of the valve gear together, then gently on the rivet so you don't do too hard, and jam them so they don't work. You just got to have a little light touch to work to get the rivet so it holds them together, but the valve gear can still work and like it's supposed to. So that can be a bit of a learning curve and thing. And trust me, even us old timers, we still mess up where we got to file the rivet off and go at it again because a little too heavy with the brass hammer, and you got a stuck valve gear. But it is once you get it going, though, it is a feeling of accomplishment to see the sucker go down the rails. It is a bit of a rush, and it is fun to know you can say you built it yourself by hand. So that's the nice part. But But the diesels, there's a lot of super detailing you can do to them too now. The parts out there that there's so many parts stuff out there, especially for HO. There's so many detail parts out there that you can pretty much make any locomotive look like any one you want from any manufacturer or a railroad company. So, anyway, it's getting up to 12 o'clock my time. So I think I'll end the live stream here. And a nice meeting and chatting with you. And congratulations in 2026. And I hope you have a good year. And hope you get good with your railway and everything builds up good for you. And you can expand your layout or whatever you like to do. And that everything comes together for you too. And look forward to seeing you in another live stream. Maybe in 2 or 3 months' time, I'll try out another live stream here. Now this one seemed to went a bit better. So I'll leave it at that. And you have a great night, and we'll catch you in another live stream. Have a great night, mate. Catch you in the next one.